Hi everybody, welcome back to Goodale Farm. I'm Peter. Today's video I'll be going through the yard, looking at some of the plantings I have and the trees. Talk about just the wonder of trees and the wood it produces and the things we're able to get from it. So come along and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you.
So today in New England, it's rare to find a tree over 250, 300 years old. But you got to imagine when settlers first came here, they were coming across trees 300, 400, 500 years old. You know, I don't know how long a tree will actually live for. They certainly don't grow to the sky. But if left alone in the insulated thick of a forest, you could have some mighty big trees. And you know, back then there was a lot of chestnut, mahogany, oak, and maple like we have today, ash. But a lot of those choice woods were harvested to extinction, just building ships, cabins, buildings, etc. A lot of the land you see today in New England was just clear cut. It's just hard to imagine from a small acorn can grow this huge tree of which you can make furniture, buildings, I mean everything. Heck, even you know, when a tree gets cut down, you take the stump and do something creative with it. Later I'll show you something my daughter did with one of the stumps nearby our house. I have some wood here that I pulled out of the house when I was doing a rehab. These boards were used as siding. So today you'd call it sheathing. It might be plywood on the outside of the building, but these planks were the sheathing back then. And you could see some of the nails that are still in here, like right here. So you have a 200-plus-year-old board, subject to the heat of the summer, cold of the winter, and these nails, they're still in there, pretty firm, impossible to pull those out. And I would say if I was to drive a new nail in that board today, the board would still hold it. So just the adhesion properties of wood, even over 200 years to hold on to a nail, and after 200 years to still take a new nail and still hold on to it. That's God's work right there. Who could possibly design such a product like that? It's amazing. So the story is, way back when the first settlers came. So this is pre-Revolutionary War, back when we were still part of Old England. The timber was so rich in the New World. And when it got back to England, the king established a rule that said any wood greater than a certain unit of measure wide could not be cut down and used by the settlers. And back then they used units usually related to the body, like, you know, well, obviously a foot. Hand is another unit. They measure horses by how many hands high. But anyway, this rule became where the term Kingswood came from, because certain choice woods were set aside for royalty, for the king, and only that could be cut down. But there was an exception, and the exception was if a tree got blown down because of a storm, in effect the wind blew it down, that would be a windfall, and a windfall you could use. So today you may hear the terms Kingswood to signify something of quality, integrity, or windfall to have something unexpected, something like you won or something that you came into good fortune of. So interesting background relative to those two words. So here's a big stump. You can see on the cut, the kerf as they call it, the rings that are there. And you know, one easy way to guesstimate the age of a tree like this is you get a tape measure, and if you take a look at them, they're all kind of, the rings are kind of equal. Each ring represents a year. Some year the tree grew better than others. Others, maybe there was a drought or a bad winter and the ring is really small. But if you take a look at the rings and you measure, say, 1 inch, and 1 inch is about 1, 2, 3, 4, let's call it 5 rings, okay? So if you take a look at the radius, or the radius is, let's call it 20 inches to make the math easy. 20 inches, and there's 5 rings per inch. It's like a 100-year-old tree right here. This cedar tree amazes me. It's now double the size it was 4 years ago. So it's growing pretty well, but it's growing right on top of ledge. And it just goes to show you the persistence that a plant or tree would have in the root system to find nourishment and find water. This thing, I'm going to leave it as it is just to see how far it goes. It's right now, let's call it 6 feet tall, and just sitting on this bed of rock. All right, way to go. A couple springtime favorites are cherry trees. This one's a weeping cherry. The buds are still not quite out yet. I mean, they are popping a little bit. I'm surprised they're not as far along as they should be. And the other one is this old time cherry tree. Let me get up a little closer and take a look at those buds. I hear the buds, probably the same as the weeping cherry, maybe a little bit stronger on this one. A lot of good new growth on this tree here, but this one has pink blossoms. They're really astounding when they come out. And then the weeping cherry on the end of the stone wall there is a white blossom. So in a couple weeks we'll have that display to look at. Here's an arborvitae I planted along with a few others probably 4 years ago. These are the green giant big boy arborvitaes, and if you're looking for a privacy hedge that grows fast, this is it. These have grown 4 times the size when I planted it. It's huge, and when I got it, I think it was maybe 3-4 feet tall. You know, when you plant a new shrub or a tree, they say it takes 3 years for it to settle in and grow. The first year it sleeps, second year it creeps, and in the third year it leaps. These items, these guys went from, I don't even think they slept. I think I put them in and they went to leaping, and they've been growing ever since. Good tree there. And I have these 3 trees here. Actually I have 4. I got one on the other side. That it's an ornamental pear tree. It doesn't bear fruit, but in the spring it does produce a real nice white flower. You can see them coming up here. The other reason I planted these is they grow tall and thin, and although the wires you see over there, those are actually in the middle of the street, so I'm safe here. but these look really nice, not only in the springtime, but have a nice green, dark green leaf on them when they leaf out. I'm fortunate to have some ornamentals around the property. Here's a nice azalea. This one comes up white, I believe. And this nice big dogwood tree. And here we have the next generation of trees. This is actually my son's collection of saplings that he is cultivating and bringing along. Got a couple maples, and then on the far end a Japanese maple. That's the dark maroon type ornamental tree that you would see. So these are probably getting ready to be replanted the next season or two. Always good to have the up and coming saplings ready to go.
All right, everybody, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like the videos, please subscribe. You can also do it with a thumbs up or thumbs down and provide comments on the video. It's always good to get feedback. So until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you later.